Hey all, Jason Puckhead Diebold here. No, that's not my middle name, it's just my stage name. So I've been watching a lot of the YouTube channels and noticing that people, when they work on something, like they post a video and then like that really helps me, and I look for how to do it, and then it makes it a lot easier to do my thing. So I'm doing something now maybe that could help somebody else. I have 2005 Mastercraft X-Star, and ever since I've had the thing, the ballast tanks have been inconsistent at best. At first they didn't work, and that was because there was a disconnect turn on under the engine. It's basically under your starter, so then there was no water getting the boat. After that, like, the gauges didn't work, so I wasn't really sure if they were filling or not filling. Over the years, I've had this boat for about 5 years. Sometimes the pump will jam, like you'll get a little piece of seaweed or something in there, the pump will jam, so it won't work. And the only way to really tell if it's full or if it's empty is you keep pumping it until water comes out of the side of the boat, then you know it's full. For empty, the same thing, you keep emptying it until water stops coming out of the side of the boat, so then you know it's empty. This can be challenging because with this boat I've got 3 tanks and 3 bags. So what I've done is I've gone around and labeled each one. So this is the starboard bag drain. Back here you've got the general tank drain and the rear bilge pump. And that way I know which one's going at a time. But it's just never been really consistent. So I've got 3 super nice gauges right here on the dashboard, and they've just never worked. I don't know if you can see this right there. So obviously front, port, starboard. But the gauges have never worked, and I traced one down to the sending unit. So then I look online, and Mastercraft really isn't good about selling their own parts. But recently they've gotten a little bit better. So I went online and they actually did have the sending unit. Now here is one of the original sending units for the depth of your starboard or port tanks. And this is the cheapest shit I've ever seen. It's PVC wrapped with a wire around it. Somehow that's creating a resistance. Based upon that resistance, and there's like knobs at the top about how you can adjust full and empty levels. Weird. There's a model number 359091-040, and it's a date 10/24. I'll show you the label. It's hard to see, but you can zoom on that if you want to. Anyways, looking online, they have them. They have some of these left over. They obviously put it in a lot of the boats. So I was looking at it, and they're $150 each. And I'm like, whoo, $150 each. And I'm not sure that that's the problem. Kind of a tough pill to swallow, especially when most people just know if their tanks are full or empty from watching where the water goes. So I put it off forever. Lately, I've been trying to get the boat ready to sell. I've got a different boat over here. It's a Malibu wake setter. Pretty much the same thing, but just a little bit newer. I like that better. And I found a guy that was fixing his fuel gauge. So basically you measure the same distance that you have of your old fuel or water sending units, in my case water. And this has got a little resistance slide that goes up and down. At the top it's 250 ohms. At the bottom it's like 33 ohms or 0 ohms. And it sends a resistance signal back to your gauges so that it knows if it's full or empty. These come super highly rated, very good quality. It's the KOS brand. So if you are doing model numbers now, this says 001305K. I'm not sure that's the right number. I will put a link in the video for it. But these now are less than $50. So what would you rather pay? $150 for one of these cheap PVC things, or $50 for one of these really durable looking gauges? And this is very similar to what Mastercraft already puts in the gas tank. Trust me, I know. I've taken the gas tank apart a couple times. So anyway, I've replaced 2 of them now. I had a little bit of problem with the gauges, but if you take them off and kind of fiddle with them, they work. But here on the starboard side, you've got your subwoofer, and right behind the subwoofer, I don't know if you can see it down there, is a hole for your starboard tank. And that has this 3-wire gauge. So there's a little cover that goes over it right here. Take that cover off, expose your wire, take off the old sending unit, and in this case I chopped off the ends of mine so I could reuse the existing wiring with the new sending unit, and this will plug right in. The new one doesn't need a power, so I just kind of terminated that one. Oops, that's a little exposed right now. Oh well. I terminated the power, and now I'm going to put those in, and once I get them in, I'll show you if and how it's working. All right, hopefully this saves you some money if you're interested in knowing if your ballast tanks are full, empty, or leaking, is what I suspected, but it proved they were not.